Welcome back, or welcome in general, and let's just get into the video straight away before I start rambling on about the fact of I have been very, if not absent from this channel, like it's been abandoned of some sort. But anyways, what a year 2023 has been, and we are drawn to the very near end of it. There's been a lot in terms of society, politics. There's been a lot in terms of how life has been taken off quite suddenly with getting a driver's license, my full driver's license in February. And during the same week, towards the end of that week, also, I got my first job working part-time. We are within the third year of uni. We are currently having a sort of fling affair, or whatever you want to call it, with a human being. I know that is also scandalous of a spirit, no doubt of that. But, if anything, it's not about the personal life, it's not about society itself, it is about Eurobeat, and it's about Initial D, MF Ghost, which has finally came out, in October. Shocker to you all, I haven't watched it, I haven't had the time to. Uni has been busy, humans are very busy and take up quite a lot of time, and work has also been busy as well with that. However, I will try and get to MF Ghost next year. It is at least on my New Year's resolution to also get caught up with anime, but nevertheless, Eurobeat is the main thing we will be talking about today. Fortunately, not the Best of Super Eurobeat 2023, but the Best of Super Eurobeat 2021, as stated in the Best of Super Eurobeat 2022 video that came out at the start of this year. The very start of this year. Also, my channel as well has also been taken off quite well. Slow pace, 44 or 43 subscribers, not a lot, but for a whole year on YouTube, that's kind of impressive. The views and obviously likes are a lot more impressive, but it is what it is. And let's just get started on my review for the Best of Super Eurobeat 2021. It is a much needed review, as Mandy has only done 2019 and 2020, but she has not done the last 2 years. And if anything, I feel like that 2021 will be a much better review than 2022, because, I don't know, coming back to the album over this year, it used to sit at a 50-50 mark, or a 75 to 25% mark, but now it's 25% to 75%, and 25% only being good songs. A lot of them are just lost the magic. However, though, for 2023, which will be reviewed within 2024, I've not got around yet to that CD for a few personal reasons. SEB 2021. Mostly gets shortened to, by me, as SEB insert your year number. When this one came out, it was such a hype. Even though I joined the Eurobeat scene in 2019, I was unaware of this Best of SEB series was going to be a new deal to the beloved original Super Eurobeat series Everlasting Tracks, or whatever it says on the little volumes. But yeah, even being aware in 2019 with Running in the 90s, Night of Fire, Gas Gas Gas, Streets of Fire, Don't Stop the Music, and No One Sleeps in Tokyo, it is bizarre that I only came to 2021 to realize that this series had existed. I wasn't around in the Eurobeat community, and I was often around the Initial D community, but I think that's where gatekeeping sort of comes into the story. And no, am I not in the Eurobeat community at the moment, especially on the Eurobeat Prime side. And if anything, SEB 2021 also had a party stream. I watched the party stream in college. Well, I listened to it, or I tried to listen to it, unaware of what the party stream was really about. However, if anything. If you know and have seen the SEB 2022 review I've done, then you will know that I watched the party stream. And I watched the party stream, I was heavily involved, comments were fired away, few replies from the Eurobeat creators, and it was mentioned all throughout the video. But 2021 is a completely different story. And I don't really even remember, sadly, enough about it. So there's not really much I can tell you, because college is just a little bit more censored than uni. YouTube comments and live chats were blocked. Class was being taught, so it was listened to in the background, and I was unaware of what the party stream was about. I didn't realise, but I guess anybody could take a wild bloody guess, that little segments of the song was to be played. I did remember a few songs. Stop the Time is one of them, and I think Maurizio De Jurio's song of Master Buster was played. I think it was the first song to be played, Brett Sinclair's a little bit. But other than that, it was barely listened to because, like I said, I was in college. And for 2023, I also couldn't watch it because I was in uni, and wowzers. It was insane. It has been insane for those 2 years. At least I got to watch 2022, so I'm aware of what it is now. And honestly, if you're not aware of the parties, and you are following this Super Eurobeat series, watch the goddamn release date parties. I can guarantee you will not be disappointed. We need more than 300 viewers watching that stuff, honestly. Besides, it's a good way to try and have a conversation with some of your favorite Eurobeat producers, and if anything, the little messages they have in between their songs and their labels before they transition to another label, oh, it is so wholesome that it's such a lovely little genre we have here. And honestly, it should be supported a lot more, considering other genres like pop and all the other ones are just so big that events like this can't happen. So why be mean about it? Why can't we just support people and fans and the producers and everything? Why do we have to be aggressive? I don't know. The logic in you guys is insane. Your brains just work so differently from ours. Mine, anyways, at least, because I'm not a human being. And I don't know why some people are assuming that. Although, if anything, let's just stop talking about the past events and the future events and present events, if anything. We should stop rambling on for an intro and just get into the goddamn soundtrack, because I am almost got too excited when reviewing 2021. When I first listened to it, it was amazing. When I look back on it now in 2022, I was like, holy shit, it is still good. And I'm back in 2023 and I'm thinking, it is the best one that's come out of the series so far. And I'm talking about the series when it started off in 2019. I know that was back in Best of Super Eurobeat 1991, but I always classify this to be a secondary series in that series, so really it started from 2019 and it's continuing all the way on to 2023. Okay, so, and if you're new to this channel, you can stick around for the next couple of minutes. If you're familiar with this channel and you've been desperately waiting for a review of this, and you know what I'm gonna say, you can just skip it. Introduction on the review. Actually, that should be saying introduction on the album, the volume album. I think it's an album? It's not really a volume, it's an album. Compilation album, at least. So, date released, January the 21st, 2022. If anything, it makes sense to release these volumes in the next year and not the same year. But if anything, it still doesn't make sense to call it the best of that year because they're all new tracks. The non-stop on disc 2 makes sense in a way, sort of, but the whole first disc with, 13 to 15 new tracks doesn't make sense. But unlike the first half of the series with 1991 till 2016, I want to say, that does make more sense with the best of the Super Eurobeat series. Ratings of the songs, discuss who sung it, labels maybe, any notes and star ratings. And if you know my channel so far, it is a 1 to 5 star ratio and no half stars of how vibrant a song can get. Well, basically of how vibrant a song can get. There is no facts on this album, not that I can find of. There's also notes to talk about the cover art of this album and give a brief rating on the non-stop. I've tried to listen to the non-stop a couple of times on disc 2 of 2021, but I've always had to listen to them in between two journeys because we don't have a lot of journey time where the journeys I make aren't long enough for a non-stop to happen, because a non-stop's like at least an hour long, and I don't have anywhere to go that's an hour long. I could just take a pointless and meaningless drive in the middle of the night, but fuel is quite expensive in this country, in Britain at least. However, cover art itself, I think I remember some people on Reddit when it was first released, or revealed, a lot of people were reminded of the Olympics because the colours. And I don't blame them, because the font and the typography used, which is beautiful typography, if anything, of the actual year itself, despite 2021 being a terrible year, what with the pandemic and everything, if I can remember correctly. I don't. Suppressed memories. Sorry about that. Not sorry. The typography and the sheer colouring of the cover art is just beautiful. In fact, 2020's cover art is also good. 2021's good. 2022 is good. Not gonna spoil 2023, but 2019 is also interesting and exhilarating, but I don't know if I like it. That style has been used twice, I think in 2016 or 2015, but we'll see. Let's just get right into the track listing. Like I said, stop rambling on for a very long intro, and that's why people are bored of these videos. Track 1, Master Buster by Dejo. 3 out of 5. If anything, with that intro, it's the best way to introduce the CD. And I'm not just saying that because it's Brat Sinclair, even though Brat Sinclair is my second favourite label if you've been following my channel since last year, and especially this time last year. Dejo, or Maurizio Zejurio, is coming back for a new track. With the success of Drifting All Night in 2020, it's only fair, as being a popular face within Sinclair's label, that he's going to be one of the main promoters for Brat's channel. However, unlike Iron Power in 2020, that I'm gonna have to be referencing because of this review, I'm not too keen on Master Buster, and that's a title I'm gonna have to say slow because, well, let's just get on further down the review. Sure, this one is a great song for racing, driving to, and it should be the first in the track listing to show the sheer aggression that this Super Eurobeat volume, god damn it, that this album has to offer. And if we get further down the review, you'll know why when I mean sheer aggression. But the title, here we go. It's just the title. I'm not getting it. I'm not feeling it. Hence the 3 out of 5, you know? Other than that, I'm getting used to Dejo as being a regular alias used by Maurizio Dejurio. I wasn't the biggest fan of Dejo, but now I'm slowly warming up to that alias. And if you're curious on what aliases I like with Maurizio Dejurio, it would be none other than Max Caverai, Nico, which I don't like the pronunciation of, and I seem to call him as Nico, Marco Polo, and Casanova. Casanova is probably a controversial point, if anything, though. But the title to this, Master Buster, what's Buster got to do with any of this? I thought that the title of this song was going to be one of the many other songs titled Master Blaster. I don't have the thing where you see words and their letters are rearranged and you think it's something else. It's just seeing the word master, I assumed blaster was going to be used because there was quite a few Master Blaster songs in Eurobeat. And if you're thinking of who's done a Master Blaster song, Mayo and Co., aka Fernando Bonini. So yes, I did read the title wrong. Just out of assumption. And no, it's just doing nothing. I feel like there might be a little something lacking, but I don't know. As a native English speaker, Master Buster seems aggressive in terms of how many syllables are used. Master Buster. Master Buster. 4 syllables within the title. Yes, Master Blaster is also 4 syllables within its title, but it's the Buster part. Who's Buster? Buster's a name. What has this Buster got to do with any of it? I don't know. The mystery behind it is what's bugging me. The lyrics are fine to the song. I do like the whole Master Buster, I'm your fire, not a liar. I mean, I'm your fire, not a liar is a good sort of rhythm. Doesn't rhyme, obviously, because fire and liar are completely different, but they're both 2 common words used in the Eurobeat vocabulary, if anything. And for some reason, the Italians are really good at saying fire, or Europeans in general, but fire and liar, they can wrap their accents around that. But the Master Buster, I wonder if that was easy for them, because as a native speaker, I don't feel like Master Buster is easy to say. Master Buster, I'm your fire, not a liar. You're my game. It's easy enough to do. It is. But knowing Master Blaster by Mayo & Co. and a few other artists, I do keep singing out Master Blaster. But other than that, I feel like the song is just a filler. I don't really feel like there's enough passion that went into this. It was just made for the sake of being made, so Maurizio could have like another chance because he's popular within Brett Sinclair's label. I mean, you've got Night of Fire, Boom Boom Fire, a couple of other really big songs that are, made by Brat. I personally like the other lesser known ones like Roswell and all that, but I don't know. You got Drifting All Night and Iron Power. Those are really beautiful and majestic tracks. But Master Buster, it's a big miss. It's just wowzers. What happened there? I feel like it was just made to be over and done with, and that's that. Who knows? I'm not assuming anything from Brat because that's not what I'm doing here, but my general opinion, no, 3 out of 5. I want to like it, and I do, but the title, absolutely not. Track 2, Life is a Beat, Cherry, 3 out of 5. Delta Music Industries here, and surprisingly with 3 entries in this track listing. Are they even allowed to do that? I'm sure they are. Delta has grown quite a bit since 2020. With them releasing the M-bomb of Eurobeat Masters, I feel like they are the only ones who are really making the effort to bring Eurobeat into a stable situation, that Eurobeat is not dying, no matter how many times people on Reddit seem to spread that misinformation, or not misinformation, but just that horrible opinion to sort of grow tension and aggression on that side of the community. We all know Reddit's not a very nice place, though. Yes, I know Dave Rogers' music exists, DRM, but since I'm not a big fan of Dave, I don't really follow his channels. I'm subscribed for the sake of it, but I don't follow his channel, and I'm more excited and obviously more hyped if DMI releases content, especially if they're starting to release a lot more stuff from the Neo Retro team as well, and MF Ghost. So it's bringing a lot of popularity to their channel. First song for Delta to put forward with the right foot. I remember falling in love with the song when I first tried it out in the car. My little shitbox of a Ford Fiesta 2008. Little silver little boy. And if you follow my Instagram, then you will know, and you'll know Fernando very well. I also believe I can sort of remember this being played in the Eurobeat stream when I was listening to it in college, because it does ring a bell to some extent. Either way, and this is going back into a sort of memory lane, with someone at the time, in 2022, who was still learning to drive, and I also didn't get my license until February this year. I was still learning to drive, so it was very hard not to just put my foot down on the accelerator, clutch, and upshift so many gears just to keep up with the adrenaline provided for this song. Again, aggression in the first track, adrenaline in the second track. I think we know where the sort of atmosphere that this volume is going in. But I couldn't do that because, as a learner driver in this country, you have to have someone in the seat next to you. And I wasn't going to go breaking any speed limits, even though I already have 1 year driving experience under my belt. However, if I'm liking the song so much and I like driving to it, why is it sitting at a 3 out of 5? Oh no, it is. Unlike as well as the first track, I'm also going to have a flaw with this song, and as much as I really don't want to because it is Delta and it is my favorite label, there is a flaw, and it's been sticking with me ever since I first listened to it. Properly in the car, not in the Eurobeat stream. It is the melody. This really needs to be discussed in Eurobeat, and the community need to stop pretending it doesn't exist. Here we have this. Then, as we are getting into the pre-chorus,
take a long breath right before the jump.
And now,
life is a beat, take up the best of every moment.
See, what is that? Aggression to a really sweet and light melody. Honestly, I'm not prepared for such a tone shifting. It kind of makes it hard to drive to. Why do they do that? And I know I'm not going crazy because there are so many other examples I could give. Revolution by Fastway, which is the first song I've noticed to do this. Of course, though, if done right, it can be beautiful. Revolution by Fastway took me a while to get used to that sort of tone shifting change within the verses to the chorus. I'm not saying it's bad here, but from black to white is quite the jump, and it's been growing to me the past 2 years. I have got used to this, and I expect the tone shifting. But other than that, when you first listen to it, it just puts you off just a little bit. Aggression to really sweet and light melody. It's fine to experiment with. I'm sure we've all noticed this within Eurobeat as well. And I am really not going crazy, and it does exist. Listen to it, and I will try and provide a list to songs like Life is a Beat and Revolution by Fastway. But it often seems to be ignored and misunderstood, and people think I'm going crazy, and they seem to not hear, yes, they don't seem to hear that such a thing is occurring. However, other than that, not to slag off the song too much, the vocals here by Clara Mamoni, darling as always. Track 3, a dance song, Ken Martin, 4 out of 5. Love how this track has got 1 star more than the past 2 tracks. Ah, woohoo! Sci-Fam, Asia Records, and all things Mauro Farina, the original to Eurobeat. I didn't know who Asia Records was in 2021, but with Robio in 2022, I was able to open up a whole new door to Eurobeat that I never knew existed. Well, I mean, sort of. There's still so many labels I've really yet to invest any time in, but you get the picture. This is also a song I've adored from the first couple of seconds that has entered my ears. Well, I don't have ears. You humans have ears. And, ears are interesting. Not interesting, they are fascinating. And eyes, if you know where I'm going with this. Do you want to get up, take a stand, jump around, and wave your hands to the beat, carelessly shouting out the lyrics? No? Well, for fuck's sake, what are you doing in Eurobeat? If you really don't feel the sound pounding through your soul and knees when listening to the song, then get a reality check, because this doesn't need any further explanation from me. A dance song with jumping vibes. It sounds like the song is also jumping along with you when you are jumping. Asia Records, by the sound of things, like Delta, is taking the new turn into Eurobeat. Track 4, Addicted to Your Love, Irene, 3 out of 5. Linda Orgarelli, an artist I discovered way after listening to this track in 2022. Crazy, huh? I can't remember if I was really aware of SCP back in my early days, even though we all know Fastway and Ace and GO2. Well, okay, Go2 and Initial D, but as pronounced by me, GO2, because I might just be a little bit different than all of yous. You don't really know SCB as a whole until you really sort of dig down into that rabbit hole of those two artists, single or combined. But this is definitely a song that went over my head on the first few listens. Now, after knowing Irene from listening to Eurokudos from Volume 1 to Volume 10, I like to try and remember the chorus to say at least for the song. For someone who is new to Eurobeat and has maybe came on the scene since 2021 and 2022, then I would say that this is a good introduction for SCP as a whole, and Irene too, if anything. And I know SCP has 2 entries on this release, but bear with me. If you see my Kickstart Your Star series, notably episode 8, then you know both me and Nit, as it was a collaboration, have said twice that Irene really does give it her all, regardless if the song is successful or not. And if anything, with SCP's 2 entries to this, I would definitely say Addicted to Your Love by Irene was definitely worthwhile put forward, unlike Tiger Tiger by Ace. But we will get to Tiger Tiger by Ace in a short while. So, for the song itself, what does the Shy Guy like about it? That sentence is a reference to Kickstart Your Star episode 8, and I would highly suggest you would get round to watching that either now, if you don't like this review, or if you like this review afterwards. And if you like those 2 videos, then I would probably consider subscribing at this point. Well, the melody is sort of there, in my opinion. I don't very much like the bridge to the song, from the chorus to the second verse. That's what the bridge is. But everything behind the vocals is rather beautiful in terms of colliding, but it's mostly just where the lyrics are in the chorus that the melody is good at colliding in. Yeah, okay, they do sound a little suggestive in terms of adultery content within the lyrics, but nevertheless it's a real step up from the Fire Desire lyrics. And surprisingly, unlike the last sort of 3 entries, while I wouldn't say a dance song is aggressive or adrenaline pumping, well, it maybe is a little, but not aggressive side. This song is definitely not aggressive at all. But from a dance song and then into Addicted to Your Love, it's a steady atmospheric tone shifting within the whole track list. And honestly, the arrangement of this track list by Avex or whoever did it, you are getting star points off me. Because in 2022, it is absolute, utter disgrace in terms of the atmospheric vibes. Can't say much for 2019 and 2020, or 2023, but it is beautiful here. Track number 5, What's Up Honey by Honey Hime. Oof. Please do not hate me for this one. 2 out of 5. Wowzers. This is the first time I was introduced to Honey Hime. Being unaware that this was by Brett Sinclair in terms of production. But I can now hear that knowing what I know, production style wise. However, this isn't an all-time favourite song for me by them, but an interesting song to showcase them in the new age of Eurobeat. Eurobeat is taking quite a turn from 2010s to 2015s. Yes, I know they have a song in SEB 2020, but considering this album is bigger and more hyped up than 2020, this song stands a lot more than what We Wanna Have It All and Eurobeat Summer was released in 2020. See, even I forgot, and I even had to look up 2020s. We Wanna Have It All wasn't even released on SEB 2020. I think it was released on Brett Sinclair's Style Volume 13? The brown one. The brown album cover. With his little wrestler badge. Someone said it was. the Brett Sinclair coin. But Eurobeat Summer was released on 2020, and honestly, that song, I think, and their first song, We Wanna Have It All, has probably gone over a lot of people's heads. I've not really heard a lot of people talk about those two ones. Only, actually, in fact, Honey Hime has gone over a lot of people's head in the community. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that. And it's probably really non-existent in the initial D community, which is a yikes. To some extent. I don't know. I like them at least. The song opens up with fans singing the chorus to the song. And unless you have looked at the fabulously crafted music video with the cowboy Sinclair, hot damn, were his outfits something. I mean, unless you've seen the video. I'm sorry, but Brett Sinclair dressed as a cowboy is like the best thing I've ever seen, and he knows that. He knows that. But unless you've seen the music video to What's Up Honey itself, then you won't understand where those extra voices are coming from and why they've been put there. Before the 3 band members come in and showcase their song. I'm not sure what this has to do with cowboys and westerns lyrics-wise, but who cares, because cowboys and their outfits sure need to be revived in such a generation. And for the content of the song as well, it's a hit or miss. And I'd just like to listen to this one for the Japanese and the English intertwined with each other. Because, I mean, you get Toho, which is Japanese and English, but they're so fast and so pitched up you can barely actually tell between if it's Japanese or English. Domino is also done a bit of Japanese within her English, and you can tell it there, but Honey Hime is probably a bit more worthwhile and special to be notifying the Japanese has been sung within Eurobeat. So, nothing else in this experimentation of a song, I suppose. Oh, and looking at the lyrics, I like how small ounces of bees have snuck into this. And if you know, you know. Track 6. Tofu Connection. Dave Rogers. Pause for dramatic effect, even though everyone knows what the scoring of this is going to be. 1 out of 5. No questions asked. We all know where this is going. Now let's move on to Dave Rogers. And probably the reason why I don't like him. Yes, it does have something to do with Super Eurobeat 2021. Unlike in Super Eurobeat 2022, where I love the entry in that one with his son. However, Tofu Connection. The intro, I have no problems with it. The verses, yes. The atmosphere is what I would expect from someone like him. However, much like Life is a Beat, the chorus. Lost in translation much? I don't know about you, and it might just be the quality of my car radio, but Dave's voice often seems to be rather quiet, and if anything, Though the vocals are quiet, the background music is bloody loud. And all I can hear is the title of the song. I mean, it might just be the quality of my car radio, of my little Fiesta, but considering I've also played this CD within my Peugeot, I've also had the same problem. All you can hear is the title. And boy, ghastly, is that horrible. I don't know about you Initial D fans with you relating to this content, and Dave Rogers has accepted the fact that he's a meme with Deja Vu and is provided to make more content related to Initial D and MF Ghost, actually making a song called MF Ghost, but this doesn't feel Initial D to me. Okay, given the fact that I haven't seen it since 2019, but I am still fully aware of Initial D, and I can remember scenes like I watched it yesterday. So it doesn't feel Initial D to me at all. Tofu Connection, yeah, it might be a good title, but the song itself is yikes. And AE86 as well. I also don't really like that song. And some other ones like Initial D Hell, and I don't like the strong Initial D songs by Dave. I mean, maybe if another label did it, I might have the same opinion. I might not. I might be biased because I don't like Dave. But either way, strong Initial D songs, themed songs exclusively, just seem rather. Why would you want to do that? Not for the anime, for the fans, but still, why? I don't know. So this is a big yikes for me. 1 out of 5. Sorry, Dave. But let's see what Horsepower Desire has to offer before I slag off the song any further. Track 7, Tiger Tiger by Ace. 2 out of 5. SCP's second entry. And this isn't my review, but I'll gladly agree with it. This is not a strong entry for Ace, but at least he came back with a better comeback in the Kickstarter project. Yes, this has strong SCP vibes in terms of melody, unlike Addicted to Your Love. But for some reason, it feels a little flat in terms of Ace himself, especially in the chorus. The intro is nicely done though. It's dramatic and it instantly takes us back to the adrenaline pumping vibes, and not too much of an abrupt way, thanks to Dave in the last song, if we're talking about atmosphere of the track listing. The pre-chorus can also be bliss, singing the title rather slowly within its syllables, but the moment it's said like this, that's when it gets ruined for me. And yeah, I know it's done like that because it is SCP, but for someone who likes the softy side to Ace, I'm gonna be picky. Mind you, given a careful listen to the song for review, it does give off rather Tiger vibes, just not so much on the jungle side, as mentioned in the lyrics itself. However, also, if we're going to have a song about Tiger, why is there no sound effects of a tiger? Looking back to Time Records' Night of the Tiger by, what alias has Giordano Gambogi done that song under, but, Night of the Tiger, he's got a tiger sound effect in there, and I just don't understand why we don't seem to have tiger sound effects in here, or some form of a jungle in here. Track 8, Blazing Guns, Samuel Zanini, 2 out of 5. GR Euro sound, hot damn. This, I believe, is my first time listening to GR. I could be wrong though, and if anything, I didn't give this song much of a thought. To me, it feels like Don't Stop Tokyo, song in this track listing by Delta's third entry. And without giving too much away at this moment to what my review of Don't Stop Tokyo is, and we'd rather be talking about Blazer Guns, let's just say instrumental. The title is beautiful, the way it's sung. Said? I don't feel like there's much singing in this song. In fact, I mean, it might be my first time almost being exposed to GR Euro sound. I think the first time I might have been exposed to was Fernando Benini, alias Nando B, with Dreams in the Night and NRG Fever. Whoa, that's taking a shot in the dark there. I mostly associate GR Eurosound to be more on the demo side and Betty Lou these days after going through GR Eurosound's current and active discography this year. Anyways, but it feels like there isn't much singing in this, and in fact, it feels incomplete. But let's just keep in mind that GR Eurosound is very, very different styles compared to every other label within Eurobeat right now at this very moment, and especially if it's a new label. I know GR himself, Roberto something something, I can't remember his last name, has worked with labels in the past. I want to say ones like 8-Beat C. So he's not new. He's been on the scene since Eurobeats first started, but in terms of his label done by himself, founded, it is new on the scene. The contents of the song, though. What is Blazing Guns about? Is it a western, like What's Up Honey? Is it something to do with a bad guy or a racing gang? Bad guy racing gang? That you wouldn't want to meet in the middle of the night? Well, okay, that's a long assumption, and Eurobeat is more or less about short, stubby lyrics than an actual story. I know some Eurobeat songs are a story, like Guilty, but by Denise, but most of them are just not really stories. Or maybe it's about guns. No, I mean, like a cop of some sort, coppers, policemen, because the melody doesn't give much for me to work on, unlike the lyrics. Either way, crime, gun, pistols, and all things bloodshed get me going in life. Though I don't support crime, but someone who is a fan of noir and neo-noir and such films like The Long Goodbye with Philip Marlowe, I think you know where I'm going with this. I also like driving to the song, but I wouldn't use it as a song to introduce the label. Oh, wait a minute. It's not their first experience in the series. This isn't their first song. I thought it was, because, well, I'm not familiar with this label back in 2021. 2022, they had the song Crazy Disco in Tokyo by Pimki. Didn't they have, like, Sexy Lover as well by Demo? I feel like I remember Mandy Energy reviewing a song of some sort and saying the song wasn't sexy. Was that 2019? 2019? Damn it, sorry. Crazy Disco in Tokyo by Pimki, 2020. Oh, but jeez, oh still. I would have picked something or made something better, even if it's not your first time introducing and showing off this label. It might be your second or third time. My deepest apologies, RG. Deepest apologies. Track 9. Stop the Time. Gino and David Dima. Dima? 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 Dima. No. Dima, in terms of Italian vocabulary sounds. 5 out of 5. And this is the first song on the track listing that gets an outstanding number. Yes, we might have just hit a rough patch within the sort of like first third of the track listing, but honest to God, I can tell you the reviews and numbers do get a bit better from now on. Oh, how this is such a soft spot for me. And every time I keep listening to this song, I mean the choreography I've designed for it, it gets even more sillier. Let's take a trip into the recently decided Actors X Eurobeat choice for this song. A little Canadian actor mostly famous in England, Robert Beatty. Now, I'm not going to go into why this choice is canon, but I will talk about the song that kicked off my rediscovery of David Dima and his label, Dima Music. There is a lot of shooting in the dark in here, no pun intended to the last track in this, which I've still yet to look into properly. I mean, I might have discovered this one, David Dima, back in 2020, and it might be 3 years, but I still haven't really gone through his discography. I really want to, but I just don't have the time to do it at all. And, well, Gianni Carreni is also really catching my attention a lot this year. If you follow my Instagram, you will know why. I know, I'm terrible. I'm a very terrible known spirit. Gino is dead, however. Shocker if you didn't know already. He's been dead since 1997. Rest in peace and God bless his soul for that matter. But how is he in the song? Sure, he has 2 other songs released after his death, which are nothing short of remixes of the originals, but for this? How? Did David pull out an Ouija board? No, it's samples from the song Hard Body by Jimmy Bravo in the Vibration label. Links down in the description for that song. And Vibration label, well, don't have a lot of information to say who, what, where, why, and how. Whilst not all of Gino's lines come from Hard Body, and if you can tell Gino and David apart as well, because I'm also questioning where he also got these other samples from, but it might just be Vibration because I think David Dima was maybe somewhat a co-founder of Vibration. It's a beautiful song nevertheless. Stop the Time, not Hard Body. Hard Body is a very strange title. I don't know if that's suggestive in terms of adultery content. If it is, good for them. If it's not, then I have severe questions. Stop the Time is a beautiful song nevertheless. And I'm sure Gino himself would be proud to see how far Eurobeat has come from Super Eurobeat Volume 74 released in 1997, where his last song in that was Lou Grant, People of Music. And a lot of people in the Eurobeat community has also agreed with the fact of Gino would be proud to see how far Eurobeat has come. Stop the Time, because there is so much energy going into this song that I want Gino to give me that energy. Okay, that actually sounds really suggestive itself. It's fine. I'm in Britain, and it's technically classified in Europe as a continent, so I'm allowed to say us Europeans are rather horny. And I'm also British, so I also get that double factor of wowzers. Sorry but not sorry, you have been warned. Best track in this volume to go racing down a hill at 60 miles per hour. Yes, I have actually done that. And I wouldn't say anything more for it. Track 11, Just to Say Your Name, Leslie Parrish, 4 out of 5. Delta's second entry, and what's this? The artist sounds very similar to Cherry. Why, of course, because it's Clara Moroni. Honestly surprised to see Cherry make a comeback, unlike Vicky Vale and Leslie Parrish, and her other common initial D aliases. But it's not them. But it's not Cherry, it's Leslie Parrish for this. But still, Cherry is an unknown sort of alias by Clara. Honestly, it's interesting to see her bring that one back. This track has the same vibes as Life is a Beat. No surprise or shocker there. But unlike Life is a Beat, this has more an impact hit on you whilst driving. Sure, I like the dun 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 part as sampled when reviewing that track of Life is a Beat. But you know what I like in this song? Apart from the fact that I can get these two mixed up just by looking at the titles, I like the part of the way the title is sung in this song. But honestly, in my god honest humble opinion, you could mash up these 2 songs, Life is a Beat and Just to Say Your Name, melody-wise, and the song would still be fucking awesome. However, it's not really for the production of this song. Instead, if anything, if there's one thing I actually do like within this song, is the gloomy lyrics that Parrish is known for, and a subtle vibrancy that gloomy melody for us lonely drivers need to race to. I mean drive to, not race to. Except, oops, I'm not a lonely driver anymore. No, not as of July this year. Needless to say, despite giving it a 4 out of 5, I could have had a more thrilling chase to the song. But I'll take the depression pills because reality often sucks. Good songs about betrayal and lost feelings are such a rush. And I really want someone to make a mashup of this song and Life is a Beat, just not not like make a mix between the two, but just take some elements from one song and some elements from this song and then just put it into one and make a whole new song. Not a remix, but a whole new song, and we'll be good to go. And if anything, if anyone actually does that, I will love you for it. Track 12, Fly Me to the Star. Lily, 1 star out of 5. High energy attack. Did this catch you off guard? It certainly did with me. Fly me to the star. Yes, star, not stars, but a single star is an odd way to label a song. But hey, what do I know about English grammar as a British person myself? Lily, however, I have no idea who she is, and there isn't much on Discogs either. Well, there's 3 vocalists credited on the Discogs page, but no one's assigned any information as to what year which vocalist did, and what songs each vocalist did. But Discogs is another story. And I'm not too familiar with this label either to help me out with concrete facts. All I know is that I like the intro. It reminds me of stars, plural, because not singular, stars, and space itself. But I don't like the way the title is sung, and that's all I can remember for the song itself. So let me even take a refresher course. Yes, but still, a refresher course. This song still doesn't get any better. Even though I might have listened to this album one too many times, I can still tell you this, the vocalist kinda reminds me of Honey Hime. Bear with me though, that might be a stretch of a comment. Though let's be honest though, for High Energy Attack, you wouldn't think that they did this song. I mean, I honestly thought, when I first listened to it, that maybe it could have been SEP within its finest hour, because it sort of sounds, if I had to pick a label, it sounded close to SEP might be my choice. Where's the randomness? The insane and unnecessary amount of wacky samples? You know, the ones of animals and stuff. No, it's non-existent. Heck, we aren't even talking about a country like SEB 2020 or 2022. Vamos Chicanos or Bandido Bandolero. Just a little off-putting hopeless romance song that makes me rate it a 1 out of 5. And this just goes into the melody, intro, and bridges at least. The lyrics are ghastly as well. Oh well. At least in 2020 they managed to redeem themselves. Track 13. We Like It Doom Doom 2021. Honey Hime, 4 stars out of 5. Oh Jesus! Brat really does have 3 entries in here, doesn't he? Sneaky sneaky. And 2 of them are Honey Hime. This song in the Eurobeat community is trashed often. And it's not even the remake, which is the song now, but the original. The original for me, from what I can remember when looking at Vicky Vale's work, aka Clara Ramone, it's a flat, incomplete song. I think this was produced by Brat, and I think it's in Brat Sinclair's discography on his channel. In fact, I almost forget that there even is an original produced or sung by Vicky Vale. However, when this song came out, the heads of the Eurobeat community said some rather harsh things, and without naming names, it's nothing more than, well, quote, out of all the songs Brat chose to remake within his discography, he made this? What a poor choice. Quote. But to be honest, they don't even like Brat Sinclair anyways, or his label, or his, songs produced, the heads of the community. So why make such atrocious comments anyways? I don't know. The logic behind you humans is very, very confusing and psychologically doesn't add up at times. But either way, without starting too much drama within the Eurobeat Prime, and honestly I couldn't care less about anyone who runs the community because just toxic drama, what does the Shy Guy, your host of this channel, has to say about this? Well, apart from buying the CD directly from CD Japan, where there was an irritably large scratch during this song, and why this song I don't know. This happened when I first bought the CD. I checked it over and there was just a massive scratch in there, and CD Japan is like a first-hand shop, I don't know what happened. Maybe something in the production lines from Avix's end, but I've never went back to CG Japan since. But the only parts I can listen to of this song is to the end of verse 2 with the chorus. And I say that this is a better way to introduce Hanihime for what they really are. They're a trio that speak English and Japanese, and one of them can speak Italian also. Not used in any of the songs, but she's fluent in 3 languages. It's amazing how Brat was able to give new life into the song, especially the melody, completely separating it from the original. It's a fun song, you want to shout out what little English lyrics there is and try to pronounce the Japanese, all while guessing who is singing what. For me, this is one of my favourites by the girls, and I wish it was far more popular within the Eurobeat community. For Initial D fans, what do you think about this song? A song about, well, sex, I think? Who knows? Track 14. Don't Stop Till Tokyo. Luke. 1 star out of 5. Delta's 3rd entry, and boy do I have something to say about this. Okay, this is another song where I don't know who it was by until much, much later. And can I say I'm happy? Oof, well, long story short, before I dwell on it too much into the mass criticism that I'm going to do for this review, the track would be better off as an instrumental. And if I had to pick someone that I thought this was by, I thought this was probably GR Eurosound. Though I didn't know who GR Eurosound was back in 2021, but when I looked at it and I knew who it was, I thought this was one of their songs also. But let's dive into why it should be an instrumental. Much like another song that I also commented should be an instrumental track. And that was Blazing Guns by Samuel Zanini. Maybe because the part after the intro is rather flat, and the yeah yeah is really catchy, and I could listen to that loop for another 4 minutes while driving my car, and I do often do the whole yeah yeah, especially when I'm driving. The vocalist, what on earth is that effect on his voice? Yeah, it's deep, but it sounds something similar to like Odyssey. No criticism to her, if anything, but we all know that Odyssey uses a filter on her voice, if anything. I feel like that's more of a symbolic reason as to why Odyssey does that. But here, come on, Delta, this song is like out of your style. That's why I don't think it's by you. The other thing is with the vocalist is that he seems to be having trouble saying, not singing, but saying the verses. Like there is far too many syllables in a sentence. And if there's anything that I've learned when reviewing Eurobeat is that I do seem to criticize and focus on syllables in sentences. Just a little, not too much, but a little every now and then. Now, the chorus is okay. I can work with that. But other than that, it feels like a rush production. Maybe they just needed to bump up the numbers and they asked Delta to do 3. And they were like, okay, we've got 2 fabulous ones by Clara. Let's just bullshit the 3rd one, you know? And honestly, it doesn't feel like it's taken with the best care, especially if it's a label like Delta. Honestly, give me an instrumental piece with the yeah yeah and the background melody behind the lyrics with some parts of the chorus, and maybe I'll reconsider my rating. Also, if you're doing that, edit and you do the one with the previous ones suggested with the 2 Delta songs, I will love you forever. I'm not asking anyone to do it, but if you think about ideas on what you want to do for editing to get used to Eurobeat, I would probably maybe pick up on some of my ideas. I'm not the best Eurobeat sort of music production. I can't produce music for hell, but I think I might have some good ideas every now and then. Track 15, Horsepower Desire. Dave Rogers, once again. 1 star out of 5. With me shitting on Tofu Connection and then rounding it off with something like, this entry was going to be better in my books, well, I should have worded that a lot better. Horsepower Desire kinda has the same treatment in terms of finish and production. That the fact that the melody is so loud in the lyrics, you can only hear the title. Yes, I have played this in 2 cars, which I have mentioned in Tofu Connection. The outcome is always the same. Fiesta Ford Fiesta 2008, Peugeot 308, also from 2008, same outcome. Two very different cars. And if you know that I also have a Honda Jazz now, I've not played that album in that car because, I don't know, I've been listening to my other albums a Eurobeat. Mind you, also with Clara having two entries on this album, both of Dave's entries are so similar to each other that I'm getting them confused between them when I hear them. Either I have a terrible memory at this rate, or otherwise. I like the jazzy melody to this, but the vocals and the syllables and the lines really don't add up. Dave is just stretching and pulling it all the wrong times within the key notes, holding them off a lot longer or shortening them a lot longer when, he could have done vice versa. It's hard to register what the hell is going on. Mind you, for the context of the song, it does fit with the initial D theme rather well, so I'll give him credit towards that. Horsepower isn't a thing that's talked about often in the show D, at least the only time I can remember it is when Ruska-san wants to drop the horsepower from 200 or something to lower, and Keisuke-san asked why, because you had to in terms of drifting, not drag racing or something like that. That's all I can remember that horsepower is used and talked about. But adding desire to the end of it as well, I feel like it fits in with some of the characters from the anime. I wonder if Dave's even watched the anime at this rate. Probably has. I mean, Space Boy is used at the very start, so, yeah. But Dave might as well be the only artist using MF Ghost at this rate. Maybe I like Tofu Connection better? Oh god. Who knows at this rate? I don't know myself. Track 16, and the very last track to this album track listing. Red Zone by Rei Hikari. I don't speak Japanese, that is fairly obvious. 3 stars out of 5. Eurobeat Union. That's Toho, isn't it? Well, before we get a lecture off of Gans, our clarifier, as I don't understand Toho, and he knows that, and I know that as well, even though he's explained Toho many times to me, and I still don't get it in this little tiny brain that I've been gifted with, let me just say I am only aware of Eurobeat Union because of Dave Rogers' collaborations of Misty Blue and Gold Knight, and Misty Blue is a lot better than Gold Knight. So let's bring it around to Red Zone and what it is exactly, and Eurobeat Union itself. Gan says, quote, Eurobeat Union does Eurobeat arrangements of Toho, but not exclusively. Red Zone is not a Toho arrangement, quote, meaning that Toho is not a sub-genre, but instead a different arrangement to what Eurobeat actually is. As most people think that Toho is a subgenre, but it is not, and Toho sometimes gets mistaken as the third generation of Eurobeat, which is also not true. Debunked by Gans. But come on, Toho has a much higher BPM, if anything, compared to Eurobeat, and it's mostly in Japanese. Saying that, I might still get a lecture of him, and I don't even know if he watches these videos or not, but I hope I'll stop talking so he does not give me another lecture of it. But that's how I see it. Higher BPM, mostly in Japanese. Either way, this is Red Zone, a Eurobeat song, not Toho. And it's probably one of the first times I've actually had to sit down with this song to properly listen to it. Meaning this track listing is so long of 16 songs that my journeys in the car are ever so short, that I can never get past track 13 or 14. Also realise I didn't get around to the non-stop because my car journeys are not long enough for that. And I don't like to listen to them in 2 parts. I know, I'm a terrible, terrible spirit. Though I have to say this though. With little knowledge of this label, or circle, or whatever else it is, even though this isn't Toho, hell, I thought this was even Odyssey when I first heard it. That's a stretch of a comment, I know, I'm aware of that. Well, I think maybe because in the melody there's a little bit of a segment that kinda sounds like how production works within Odyssey's melody. And if anything, I'm also thinking of Redline by T. Stebbins. That's what I'm thinking of. But call her Jessa. Not a dead name. Jessa Odyssey. Otherwise, her fans and I will come after you. Oh, okay though, let's seriously talk about the song and not any of this other nonsense. Red Zone is a song about racing, and what a way to round off this volume. To be honest, I have nothing else for this song. That sounds like it could be used in a 1990s Nintendo game. I think there is some also other information behind the song, but what the hell would I know? Okay, so now we should round off the end of the video because I've reviewed 16 songs, and it is a long review. I'm actually glad that they cut down the numbers in for the 2023 track listing, but the last couple of releases have been far too long for me to even cope with. I think about 12 to 13 songs should be a reasonable length for reviewing in a video, at least not to make things too long and too painful to listen to and painful to record and do. I mean, I don't mind doing all this work, it is a side passion project, but if you go past about like 15 songs or even just, 15 and over, it just tends to get a bit tiresome, shall we say. Okay, additional comments. I think I said for my review of 2020 that I did enjoy this one, that I did enjoy it over 2021. That's an absurd comment I have made because compared to 2022, the best of Super Eurobeat 2021 is the absolute bomb, and 22 is hot trash of a mistake. Mind you, I am new to this, so I don't think I'm entitled to too much of an opinion. However, looking to the community as a whole, Initial D included, I've seen more songs out of the 2021 being remixed, reposted, and more favoured over 2022. Even though this is when I joined this series and was aware of it, despite joining Eurobeat and listening to Eurobeat back in 2019, I was unaware of 2019 and 2020's SEB because they didn't have the same hype as 2021. 2021, in my opinion, has probably had the more hype than 2022, 2019, and 2020. 2023 has also had quite a lot of hype, but not as much as 2021. That being said, with 9 labels all pulled together with big songs, little songs, this album does not feel divided in terms of melody, atmosphere, and story, unlike 2022. Which is why it's more enjoyable, a good introduction to some labels like Brett Sinclair, Delta, Dima Music, Eurobeat Union, and SEP, but not a good introduction for DRM, GR Eurosound, High Energy Attack. But let's see what 2023 has to offer to overall stars for the whole album itself. 3 stars out of 5. And if anything, stick around for the content to come.